I read it a few times. AirPods with camera, and the new bit I think is the kind of timeline for launch. Go with that. Like, what was the important bit of what you reported, Mark?
Yeah, so these new camera AirPods are going to launch at the end of 2027. It's going to be a pretty blockbuster fall of next year. That's the 20th anniversary of the iPhone, so they're planning a lot of stuff to go hand in hand with that. In addition to these AirPods with cameras, and just to give you some context, these are not for facial recognition. These are not for taking pictures and video. These are for being able to see the world around you and feed that information into Siri. So you can say things sort of like, what can I make with the food on this table, right? What recipes can you concoct for me? Tell me more information about that object or that plant or what have you, or things for visual reminders or more specific turn-by-turn directions. And in addition to that, you're going to see the second generation of the foldable iPhone, as well as the 20th anniversary iPhone, something I'm calling the iPhone 20 or the iPhone 20 Pro, coming out at the end of next year. So it's going to be pretty jam-packed. And if you look at the more near term, this year is going to be pretty extensive as well. You have several new iPads, you have several new Macs, new Apple Watches, and of course you have the first foldable iPhone, as well as the iPhone 18 Pro, 18 Pro Max. And if you recall, Apple made that big design change with the 17 Pro and Pro Max last year. Typically, right, when Apple does a new design change, the first 2 years of that design are extremely successful in terms of upgraders. Some people don't do it in year one. They like to wait for year two. And so I think the 18 Pro, Pro Max are going to be pretty hot sellers this fall as well.
Another big story that played out in markets, it played out on social media in a huge way in the last 24 hours, is Snap and Snap Specs augmented reality glasses. You know what the stock reaction was. You spoke to the CEO yourself. Summarize everything we need to know about this, please.
I think the stock reaction is more in response to how much was spent on this product and investors and Wall Street knowing that this is not going to be a hit out the gate. This is, a conceptual product right now. This is something like when the Vision Pro launched a couple years ago. This is going to be for developers, for the biggest tech fans, for the earliest of early adopters. This is not something that's going to light the world on fire from the get-go. But this is the future of computing, I believe, as well. And this is what Evan Spiegel has been saying. These are augmented reality glasses that allow you to overlay applications, your work, notifications on top of the real world. And eventually, this is a product category that is going to click. But it needs to get a little bit lighter, and it needs to get a lot less expensive. These are about $2,200 right now. Certainly not the priciest device in the category, the Vision Pro obviously being over $1,000 more expensive than that. But there is some work to be done, but this is another stepping stone towards that vision that Snap and several other companies have. So maybe I'm not optimistic about this first generation of the product from Snap, but in terms of the category, this is going to be the future, and Snap clearly is placing a foothold there.